I bet one look at that title and you guys are going, What? 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 Okay, let me explain for a second. You see, when I put out that vote, it wasn't entirely to see what the next series would be. I mean, it both was and wasn't. Yes, whichever thing got the most votes would be the next series talked about. But I never said I would do the whole series at once, now did I? That's right. Instead of determining what series I would look at in completion, the votes actually determine how many videos would be made of each of the remaining series. I just kind of wanted to surprise you guys right up front, you know? So, since Strange Wonders got 4 votes, I did 4 videos of that, I'll do 2 videos of this series, and 1 video for the rest of the series, since they only got 1 or 0 votes respectively. And then we'll switch around, you know, keep going around in a circle, things like that. So, with that out of the way, welcome to Nightmares of Nature. In this series, we'll be talking about animals that are ferocious, mean, vicious, aggressive, in general, animals that kill using brute force rather than poison. That's toxic terrors. And fittingly enough, for our first entry today, we're talking about an animal famous for its aggressive temper. The Tasmanian Devil. The Tasmanian Devil, Sarcophagus harrisii, is a mammal. It's a carnivore. It was described in 1841, and it lives on the island of Tasmania. Although there have been reintroductions to mainland Australia, but Tasmania is its main habit. Tasmanian devils are small marsupials that resemble weird rat, weasel, dog hybrids, which possess black fur and a white swoosh on their chest. Tasmanian devils are currently the largest living carnivorous marsupials, unless you're one of those people who think the thylacine is still out there and is just being covered up by the Australian government. Anyways, despite their relatively small size, these guys are very vicious and deadly, with them possessing the most powerful bite of all mammals relative to their body size. And they hunt pretty much anything that lives in Tasmania, like wallabies, wombats, penguins, sheep, rabbits, fish. Okay, you get the point. The Tasmanian Devil got its name from the fact that when European settlers first heard their growls, they thought they were coming from demons, and when the source was discovered, the name just kinda stuck. Like all marsupials, devils give birth to premature young, with the barely developed baby having to crawl into its mother's pouch and reach her nipple before it dies. Devils actually give birth to a surprisingly large amount of babies at once, but since they only have 4 nipples, only 4 of them actually get to reach joeyhood. The rest, shrivel and die. Okay, now that you just thought about mass dying of baby animals, let's move on to the card. You know, if I'm being honest, the art for this series is probably my favorite. I don't know what it is, but this one always just looked the most realistic. Whoever this artist is really good. This is almost photo level. Although, I failed to address this with Strange Wonders, but yeah, on the back of the card, they just straight up have a PNG of the actual animal and not a drawing. That's something I failed to point out before, and I feel like it would be appropriate now. And, besides that tangent, though, I don't really have anything to say here. This is a good card, 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about their relationship with humans. Now, Tasmanian devils have never actually been reported killing someone by, you know, attacking them and hunting them, things like that. There have been reports of them eating dead humans, but there's no evidence that they were the ones who killed them. Although granted, like all mammals, there's a certain disease that I still refuse to name that you shouldn't go near them in case you get it. But yeah, Tasmanian devils are actually relatively harmless to humans. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about humans towards them. Yep, Tasmanian devils are endangered. Main reasons include roadkill, people killing them for hunting their livestock, but the most, freaky reason is a disease called devil facial tumor disease, which causes large growths to appear around their muzzle, which causes them to starve to death because they can't open their mouth. Oh, and by the way, it's contagious. Yeah, that's pretty. You guys are lucky I don't show you any pictures of this. But there is some good news. Tasmanian devils are relatively common in zoos. I say relatively because none of the zoos I've ever been to had them. And thanks to a certain animation studio, Tasmanian devils actually have a bit of a place in pop culture. In 1954, Warner Brothers released the cartoon Devil May Hare, a Bugs Bunny cartoon where the titular rabbit ends up coming face to face with a Tasmanian devil named the Tasmanian Devil, although later media calls him Taz for simplicity. And although he doesn't look too much like the real animal, he does have their vicious behavior and massive appetite. This character ended up becoming so popular that he's become synonymous with the real animal, to the point that it's very unlikely most anyone else will try to make a Tasmanian Devil character. In fact, just like Roadrunners, I'm pretty sure most people think that these guys don't even exist and they're just made up by Looney Tunes. So yeah, Tasmanian Devils, pretty cool animals that are tragically endangered due to what is basically contagious cancer, which is probably the most terrifying thought on the planet if you ask me. Overall, Tasmanian Devils are pretty cool animals, and I really hope that they don't go extinct. That's all for this episode of Nightmares in Nature. Join us next time when we talk about blood-sucking worms. Oh boy. Bye!